Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapring Chronicles. Today we're coming back at you with another Ratchet video. Today we have a Gearwrench, but kind of a little bit of a mystery Gearwrench Ratchet. But before we jump into all that, could you please give me a like and also subscribe to this channel if you find this content at all interesting or maybe even enjoyable. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for any particular Ratchet, probably the easiest way to find it is to go to my channel and go to my playlist, and there I have all the companies, all the manufacturers listed. So if you're looking for a particular manufacturer, that would probably be the easiest way to find it. And instead of scrolling down all the videos I have, I probably have a few hundred videos by now, so it would be a lot easier to go to the playlist to find a particular Ratchet or manufacturer. Okay, I got this Ratchet used, and it's well used. This is a Gearwrench. It says here it's an 81215P. It has a small, looks like a 0 there to the right. And when I look up those numbers, it comes back to, I guess, the modern equivalent, which is a 120 XP, which is a 120 tooth Ratchet. This is not that Ratchet. This is an 120 tooth or 60 tooth Ratchet, which has double pawls, which interchange and gives you 120 positions. This is something else. I'm not sure if this number 81215P originally was a different set of teeth on the Ratchet, because I'm gonna guess that this originally was an 84 tooth Ratchet, even though it doesn't say here 84 teeth. This can be an early version. I have no idea. Another thing is that this switch is not a Gearwrench switch, which when I first saw it, I was like, that switch doesn't look like any Gearwrench switch I've seen. But we're gonna get into that in a minute when I break this down. This Ratchet, I cleaned it up. It was pretty greasy. All in here, all in there. This was, I'm gonna guess, this was a well-used Ratchet. From the handle, you can see here, I don't see any abuse of any strike marks or anything like that, really. But just, you can see the some pitting, worn away chrome. And from the state and the use I've seen it in, and this switch not being original, I'm guessing this was professionally used. It looks like something that's, if not professional, something that was used a lot. So I take that as kind of a good sign for Gearwrench, that their products are considered, people consider them, that you can use them a lot, and they keep going, which is, a good thing. So yeah, like I said, I picked this up used. This one, it's a bit long. It's the flex head. It has detents in the flex. There's 1 position, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions in this flex in the detents. The length is about, I think, 11 and a half inches long, so it's pretty long. It's 3/8 drive. What else can I say about the outside? I guess that's it. Looking from the outside, the flex pin or bolt, it's a 3mm hex. So you would have to get out your 3mm hex if you wanted to take it all apart. So let's start out by opening it up. Okay, get your snap ring pliers. And here is the snap ring. Very basic, doesn't have any numbers or anything on it. And you just pull up a little bit on this, on the anvil, and the plate comes out. Here's the plate. It took the O-ring with it. Here's the plate, thin plate, very typical of ratchets, Taiwan ratchets. This is a Taiwan ratchet. Nowadays, they come with these thin plates. Well, here the plot thickens a little bit. You see there's a red O-ring on the gear. And here is the gear. Like I said, it comes with a red O-ring, which is kind of unusual. Here's the back of the gear. The gear is in weird number for Gearwrench. The gear is actually 88 tooth. Gearwrench is known for 84, 90, and I think 120 lately on their finer tooth ratchets. Yeah, 84, 90, and 120. I'm not sure if they go higher than that, but I know they go lower than that. There's some ratchets that I think are 60 and maybe even 40 something, 45 or something, some older ratchets or some more inexpensive ratchets. So here we have a 88 tooth, which is not a typical Gearwrench tooth count. Here's the back, there's the O-ring, here is the ball detent, looks okay. You can see the anvil is missing all its original black, which is indicative of a good amount of use, like I said before. Okay, here's where it gets even more interesting. Here's the pawl. And as we see, the pawl says 88 on it, which, like I said, the gear is 88 teeth, which is not a typical Gearwrench. 88 3/8, and this is what the pawl looks like. There's a cutout in the back for some reason, not sure why, and a cutout here, and in the front, this is the way it goes in with the numbers facing out. Has a cutout here on that front part. Has the number 6 like forged in on one of those circles, and yeah, that's what that looks like. And let me get my non-magnetic tweezers and remove the plunger and the spring. The spring, it comes with a kind of very thin but long spring, and the plunger is pretty long itself. It's hollow, and that's what that looks like. Okay, and now we have the switch. The switch kind of just wiggles out. Like that. Again, we see a red O-ring on the switch. The switch does have an O-ring. has this particular shape, which is not, as I said before, isn't Gearwrench. And this is what the switch looks like. On the bottom looks like a little round something. A cap? I doubt it, but kind of looks like that. It's the hole where the spring and plunger sit in. And here's the inside. You see some wear there, some lines of wear where the gear was rotating. Here's some wear on the side where the pawl rests when it's ratcheting. And over here there's some wear, not too bad wear, just looks more like wear on the chrome. And here is the trench where the snap ring sits. This, I think, is missing another plunger like that one. I think this came with 2 plungers, but this was obviously serviced and parts exchanged, and I think they omitted the second plunger when they put this back together. This, what I found, this set here, 88 teeth, this was a kit, and it's not a Gearwrench kit. This is a Matco kit, which I saw that people were saying online, and I did see a video on YouTube where someone was exchanging Matco 84 teeth Gearwrench repair kits. Instead of using a Gearwrench repair kit, they were using Matco repair kits, which they said would fit and are usable in the 84 tooth Gearwrenches. And this is what this is. What's a giveaway here is that the switch, like I said, is not, this isn't a typical shape of a Gearwrench switch. This is a Matco shaped switch. And another giveaway is the red O-rings. Matco usually uses red O-rings, and Gearwrench use black O-rings. And another giveaway is the 88 teeth. Matco is 88 tooth. They have an 88 tooth, or they did. I'm not sure if they still do. They did have an 88 tooth Ratchet, and here we have an 88 tooth gear and pawl inside of an 84 tooth Gearwrench. So kind of interesting. And if you want to see the total teardown, you put your 3mm in here, and push it down and remove the bolt. And underneath here, you're going to find the ball. So be careful when you take this apart that ball doesn't fly out. It's a pretty big, good sized ball. And the detents are pretty tight. They're not like a little bit floppy or anything. So, and here's the spring. Here's why. The spring is pretty chunky. There's a pretty thick spring. And inside here is the hole that houses the spring and the ball and all the rest of that. So to put this all back together, you take your spring, you put that back in, take your ball and drop that in the hole. Take your head or mechanism housing and you kind of line it up. You see on this side it has like a detent, not a detent, has a chamfering around the hole. that side is flat, this side is a chamfered hole. I put the chamfered side on where you're gonna stick the bolt in, on that side, and you push this down like that a little bit and get your bolt in. Now you take your hex key, you want to push this down to where it's kind of even. Is that is that even going in? Wait a minute. Okay. There we go. Got a little tightening there, and now it's back. See what I mean? It's pretty tight. I like it. I like it when it's pretty tight like that. It isn't really loose, too loose, flopping around. Take your switch from the outside, you stick it in kind of on an angle, and now you take your spring and plunger and you get that into the hole of the switch. And I think I've missed a spot. I missed a part. If you have the other plunger, I guess you would put that one in first and then put the switch on top of that, and then the second plunger on top of the switch. Now you take your pole, and remember the numbers facing out with that little edge this way coming out. And now you drop in your gear. Make sure your O-ring is in place. Now you take your plate, you drop that in, grab your snap ring pliers and your snap ring, stick those in, make sure it's secure and in place. Yep. Now you test it out to see if it's switching. Yep, it's switching. So there we have it. That's the Gearwrench, the 81215P, probably an older model of that number, not the modern 120XP, which uses those numbers. This is an older, I'm assuming an older 84 tooth, probably from over 10 years ago, maybe more, that's been serviced and has actual Matco service kit parts in it, and it's pretty well used, but still kicking, still sounds pretty good, and probably still serviceable to be put to work. Alright guys, until next time.